Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. You know it's a Wednesday, so you know that means it's time for another Top 10 countdown. But before we get to it, I want to make a quick shout out. His name is Gary. He told me I could call him Bro or G-Man, so I'll call him Bro Gary. And if I'm wrong, he can correct me, but I believe he lives just outside of Dallas, Texas. And he said he is preparing for the Special Olympics because they did not have it last year, so he's excited that the Special Olympics are actually back, and he is preparing and getting ready for that. So let's all wish my man, Bro Gary, good luck in the upcoming Special Olympics. This week's Top 10 countdown is Top 10 All Time Mascots. And just like every countdown that I do, I'm trying not to do just one sport, but all sports. I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be good because I do have baseball and basketball and football on my list. If you have any thoughts about what your favorite mascot is, it could be current or it can be all time, because we know a lot of teams have changed their name or changed their mascot over the years. And I want to make a quick shout out to my man Chris. I know I mentioned this on my video on Monday, but if you have not yet watched Monday's video, you have not heard the story, so I'll go ahead and say that Chris actually asked me to do this top 10 countdown probably in May or June, and I just completely, totally forgot about it because it was not intentional. But at one time, I was getting a lot of different suggestions and a lot of different feedback on top 10 countdowns to do. And while I was getting all that feedback on different countdowns is when he asked me to do top 10 all-time mascots. And like a dummy, I didn't write it down and I forgot. Well, then on Monday, he asked me if I would do top 10 all-time mascots. And I said, great idea, Chris. And I'm glad you asked, because somebody else actually asked me that about a month ago, and I forgot. And he said it was me. So thank you to Chris for suggesting this top 10 countdown, and my apologies to Chris for originally forgetting. It was not intentional. But on to the countdown. I think this is going to be fun because I've got a feeling there's one that's going to be on this list that most of you, if not all of you, have not heard before. Number 10 on my list is the gorilla, who of course is the mascot for the Phoenix Suns. I always enjoy watching some of his pregame antics and some of the stuff he does at halftime of the Phoenix Suns home games. Number 9 on my list is Bevo. Of course, he is the mascot for the overrated Texas Longhorns. He's on the countdown just because he's iconic. You know, he's so big, he can't really do a whole lot. But anybody that follows college football knows who Bevo is. Number 8 on my list is the team and the school that I don't think anybody has heard of. And if you want to go watch the full story, you can go to Wikipedia or other types of Google searches and find out about it. But it's a school that was originally called Pocatalico, and they cut it short to Poca. And ever since 1928, their mascot has been the Dots. So their school name is the Polka Dots. And like I said, they got that name in 1928 because the announcer said they looked like a bunch of dots running around on the field, and the name stuck. So for 93 years, Polka High School in Virginia has been called the Polka Dots. Number 7 on my list is the Philly Fanatic, who, of course, if you follow Major League Baseball, you know he's the mascot for the Philadelphia Phillies, and he actually makes the Phillies games worth watching even when they're not any good. I will watch a Phillies game if it's on TV just because of their mascot. He's actually gotten in trouble a few times over the years for some of the antics he does during the game in the stands, but I always find it very humorous. Number 6 on my list is KC Wolf, who of course is the mascot for the Kansas City Chiefs, which is where the name KC Wolf comes from. But of course, until they got Patrick Mahomes and started being a dominating NFL team, most people probably didn't know that the Chiefs had a mascot called KC Wolf. Before we get into the top 5, we'll go ahead and recap numbers 10 through 6. Number 10 is the Gorilla of the Phoenix Suns. Number 9, Texas Longhorns mascot Bevo. Number 8 is Polka High School in Virginia because they are the Polka Dots. Number 7 is the Philly Fanatic. And number 6 is KC Wolf. Now, number 5 on my list is a package because it is 2 mascots pretty much in one. And that's the Florida State Seminoles with Osceola and Renegade. And Osceola is the name of the man, and Renegade is what he rides in the field on. So they're a package, Osceola and Renegade. Number 4 on my list is Pistol Pete, which of course is the mascot for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Now, this is not just my opinion either. He's actually, I know at least once, if not more, over the years, won that little voting contest ESPN does where they let America vote for the best mascot. Pistol Pete has won it at least once, but he finishes in the top 5 almost every single year. Number 3 on my list is Smokey, who of course is the mascot for the Tennessee Volunteers. If I'm correct, I believe they're on Smokey number 10 right now, I think. Number 2 is another mascot that a lot of you may not have heard of, but of course I've got a lot of useless knowledge when it comes to sports in my brain. But number 2 is Peter the Anteater, who is the mascot for the UC Irvine Anteaters. And UC stands for University of California. They used to be really, really good at baseball, but they never have been much at basketball or football. So you can get on Google and type up Peter the Anteater if you do so choose and see the mascot for the UC Irvine Anteaters. And number 1 on my list will always be number 1 on my list because there'll never be a more fitting name for a team or a mascot than the Braves mascot back in the day before they changed it, and that was Chief Nakahoma. For one, it was a fitting name for a fitting franchise, but how can you not like a mascot who's a baseball mascot whose name is Chief Nakahoma? That is incredible. So my favorite mascot of all time will always be Chief Nakahoma, who was the mascot of the Atlanta Braves back in the day. Of course, nowadays they've got Homer, but it used to be Chief Nakahoma, and now it's just Homer who dresses up like a baseball. And that is my top 10 list of top 10 all-time mascots. Let me know what you think and who your favorite mascot is. It can be a current mascot or an older mascot because, like I said, we know over the years some teams have changed their mascot like the Braves or changed their name, which has made their mascot have to change. So leave me your thoughts on what you think is the best all-time mascot. And again, thanks to Chris for suggesting this. And very quickly, let me say that some of these teams got left off the list because their mascot didn't go along with the name. And I'm not going to put you on my list if your name makes no sense. Like the Miami Hurricanes. Nothing against Miami, but your name is the Hurricanes, but your mascot is a bird. That just makes no sense. And Alabama is the Crimson Tide, but their mascot is an elephant. Now, I've read stories, I've read articles, I know there's supposed to be a meaning for it and a reason for it, but there's no direct correlation between a roll of toilet paper and an elephant. I'm sorry, you're not going to make it make sense, so therefore you just can't be on my list. to me, a mascot should go along with the name of the school. So this is my top 10 list of all time top 10 sports mascots. And again, quick shout out to my man Bro Gary in Texas, who is getting ready for the Special Olympics, and good luck to him. And before we get out of here, let me go ahead and say that if you've been following the channel, you know that the majority of the top 10 countdowns have been either sports based or wrestling based, but I've had a few that have not been. I did one about candy, one about vacation destinations, and one about TV comedies. Well, coming up here in a couple of weeks, I'm going to do top 10 all-time one-hit wonders. And just like the list I just did, top 10 all-time sports mascots, it's not going to be based on one genre or one decade. It can be any genre of music. So no matter what kind of music you like, if you've got an artist or a band that you think should be on the top 10 all-time one-hit wonders, please let me know, because just like wrestling, I love music. I've always loved music, and I pretty much like any type of music, so it's going to be hard for me to narrow it down to just 10 songs, but we'll do that coming up here in a couple of weeks. Is it a crime to throw sodium chloride in your enemy's eyes? I know it's assault, but is it a crime? And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.